Welcome back to the channel where we explore, learn, and theorize about the Marvel Universe. Today I'll be breaking down the final episode of Loki, so if you haven't watched it yet, or you don't want any spoilers, then don't worry. You can watch the first half of the video normally, where I'll be talking about a new look at Spider-Man's black and gold suit, Doctor Strange 2 being the scariest Marvel movie, and then I'll let you know when the spoilers are coming. Now let's get started. First, even if you didn't watch Loki's finale, I can tell you this as it doesn't spoil anything. But Loki has been renewed for a second season. Once the episode ends and the credits begin to play, it says Loki will return in season 2. And we've actually known that Loki would get a second season for months now, since Clark Gregg stated that the show was planned to have 12 episodes in May of last year. So actually over a year at this point. Next, Hot Toys is making a Spider-Man figure featuring the black and gold suit that we'll see in Spider-Man No Way Home. And we've now gotten a much better look at it. We can see that not just the gloves will have the microchip pattern like we saw from the Funko Pop, but actually the entire suit will have this pattern. And we can also see that this suit will give Peter the same magic powers that he'll have with the integrated suit, meaning that Doctor Strange either gives him 2 magical items, one for each suit, or he's able to switch whatever Strange gives him to a different suit. Moving on, in a recent interview, Elizabeth Olsen stated that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is a very scary movie. It's like the old Sam Raimi. They're trying to create the scariest Marvel movie. And we've heard this for months now as well, so it'll be quite disappointing if it isn't actually a horror movie. But with Sam Raimi back behind the wheel, I'm hopeful that it'll turn out good. Just, give us a good Shuma Gorath, not a villain like we got with Dormammu. And lastly, the final episode of Loki just came out, so if you haven't watched it yet, or you don't want any spoilers, then click off the video now, as I'll be breaking down the episode and covering all the Easter eggs. So once again, there will be major spoilers ahead for Loki episode 6. Now I'm not really going to do an in-depth breakdown like I normally do, as most of the episode was talking and setting up the future. Also, I assume that most of you already watched the episode yesterday and then went on to watch a breakdown by another YouTuber. But I do want to talk about the episode, give my opinion, and talk about what it means for the future of the MCU. First, I am so happy that we were all wrong, but also right. Thankfully, Marvel gave us Jonathan Majors in this episode. And while this one was technically a variant of Kang called He Who Remains, which I hate by the way, at least we saw him. And we now know why Kang will appear in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now the reason why I hate Kang being He Who Remains is because Marvel keeps fusing characters together or taking aspects of one character and giving them to another. Take Lady Loki or Sylvie having the Enchantress's powers. Now He Who Remains is an actual Marvel character that's completely different to Kang, and while they are connected in the comics, they're not the same person. But now that he appeared in the show, we're probably not going to see the real version of He Who Remains in the MCU. And I would be very surprised if He Who Remains is anyone's favorite character and they're genuinely upset that he didn't appear, but I don't know. In my opinion, it would have been better to have them be separate characters, cause this way they just made He Who Remains a Kang variant instead of his own character. But anyways, while the episode was mostly talking, it not only hinted at, but flat out confirmed a lot of things. We've known that WandaVision connects to Spider-Man No Way Home and to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but they're not at all why the multiverse goes into madness like we thought. It really has nothing to do with the Scarlet Witch having the Darkhold. It was literally Loki who did this. And we are 100% getting Secret Wars now. Whether it's in 5 or 10 years, it's coming. And this means that in one of those branching timelines, or actually, in a lot of them probably, Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Widow are all alive. In one timeline, the Avengers might have been able to take the glove off of Thanos' hand before Star-Lord hit him. Hawkeye died instead of Nat, or they found a way to get the stone with neither of them having to die. And in another, Cap never went back in time because the Avengers either never needed the stones or he snapped instead, sacrificing his life in the process and letting Tony go back to his family unharmed. And honestly, anything you could think of has or will happen now that the multiverse is allowed to do whatever it wants. I didn't really care much for the betrayal at the end because as a comic book fan, I wanted to see the multiverse open up, and Loki and Sylvie's relationship is still a little weird to me. But the end of the episode is what I want to explain, as it might have been a little confusing to some. Anyways, when Sylvie sent Loki back to the TVA, she did so with Kang's, or He Who Remains Tempad, which sent him to a different timeline and is why Mobius and Hunter B-15 didn't know who he was. But the timeline she sent him to was actually Kang the Conqueror's, as the camera pans out and focuses on a statue of Kang. In our TVA, there are 3 statues, one for each of the timekeepers, but in this one, there was just one. And we know that it's Kang because of the way that he is, and also because he's wearing a comic-accurate Kang outfit just without the helmet. And some people speculated that the TVA could exist in the quantum realm, and at first, I didn't believe that, but seeing as how the show is connected to Kang, I'm starting to rethink that, and I might make a theory video about it soon. So definitely stay tuned for that if you're interested. But let me know what you guys think about all this. Why do you think Spider-Man will use magic in this movie? Do you think Doctor Strange 2 will actually be scary? And what did you think of Loki overall? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you'll never miss another video. Thanks for watching, and remember to wash your hands and stay safe.